to another episode of Saturday Night Horror. Now, before we even get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching Saturday Night Horror. I knew there were people that watched it, but I didn't know there were that many people who enjoyed it. So that was, I appreciate all the comments. That was really cool to read. So thank you very much, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. So this week, we're going to be watching the sequel to the movie we watched last week. This week, we're going to be watching Alligator 2, The Mutation. This is recently released on Blu-ray. I had to pick it up. Now, Alligator 2, I don't really remember a whole lot about it. I watched it at least once, but it's been so long, I really don't remember too much. My first exposure to Alligator 2 was, again, the same as Alligator 1, back when I lived in Italy. Came out in the front room, the VHS was in the VCR, and I just remember one scene. It was like a Ferris wheel or something, like an amusement park or something like that, and the alligator was going through the amusement park as people were running away from it. And, you know, back then I was not into horror movies. I turned around, left the room, didn't give it a second thought. So that was my first exposure to Alligator 2. Like I said, it's been quite a while since I've seen it, so I don't remember too much about it. So I'm looking forward to watching it tonight. I'm hoping it's going to be more entertaining than Alligator 1 was last week. That was kind of a letdown. As far as cooking goes, we experimented last week. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. So today, I'm sticking with something simple, something tried and true, one of my favorites. I'm just going to be making some simple burritos. I want a good meal this week, and plus I didn't sit down and plan a meal, so I didn't do any grocery shopping. So we're doing burritos, guaranteed to be a good meal. Alligator 2, hopefully more entertaining than Alligator 1, we shall soon see. So without further ado, let's head out to the kitchen. Let's get these burritos started so we can watch our movie.
Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen. Let's go out to the kitchen and have ourselves a snack.
Alright everyone, here's our ingredients for our burritos. Like I said, I'm real plain Jane when it comes to burritos. We have meat, of course. We have the cheese. We have the taco seasoning, which is essential. And of course, our tortilla shells. So like I said, real plain. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this taco seasoning put together. We're just going to mix this packet right here with 3/4 cups of water. So we'll go ahead and do that first while this pan is heating up. We got the pan over here. Oh yeah. Alright, so we're just going to take this open here, rip this open. And we're just going to dump this in here, and it's... hold on. Having problems getting it open. Oh man. Well, there we go. Here we go. All right. Yeah, I ripped it open and it didn't want to come out. So yeah. We just want to make sure we get all of it in the water here. And I think we've almost got it all. Just want to be sure. There we go. And we're just going to stir this together. Now we will have to stir it again when it's time to put it in the meat, because all these seasoning, all these little pieces or whatever will kind of meet together at the bottom. So we'll have to stir it up again right before we pour it in the meat. But I like to go ahead and get this made first. That way it's out of the way. It's over and done with. Alright, our pan's been heating up this whole time. We're going to put our meat in. Alright. The raw meat always looks nasty to me. Alright, so now that the meat is cooking, if you've seen Saturday Night Horror before, you know I'm going to chop this meat the entire time it's cooking, because I like to have my meat as small, the pieces of meat as small as possible. I absolutely hate huge chunks of meat, so I want to keep them small. So I'm going to chop this the entire time. And I'm not going to film the entire cooking process because it'll be, I don't know man, maybe 10-15 minutes, so we'll come back when it's done, but I'm going to chop this the whole time. Alright, the meat is cooked. Now we have to drain that grease out. Do not want to keep the grease in the pan. That's just nasty. So we're going to get a strainer and we're going to drain all this grease out, and then we'll come back to do our taco seasoning. Alright, the grease has been drained. We stirred up the taco seasoning one last time. We're going to dump it in, and we're going to spoon out that little bit left. There we go. So now I'm just going to mix this all together and try not to knock over the tripod while I'm doing it. I might have to just cut the camera off and come back when it's done being mixed up. Now the camera is putting a lot of light on this, so the meat looks really light, and it's not like that in real life. Alright, so it's all mixed up, and it actually looks a lot better seeing it up in person than it does on camera. On camera, it does not come off like it's been mixed up at all, but standing here in front of it, you see that it is. And we'll just let this cook for a little while. Alright, I think we're done, man. The taco seasoning has been absorbed into the meat. Had just a little bit of juice there, but that's good. That's how I like it. I think we're good to go. We're ready to put these burritos together. So let's get this off the burner and get them made. Alright, so this is it. Like I said, I'm extremely plain and boring when it comes to burritos. Meat and cheese. We did not have any lettuce, unfortunately. I usually do meat, cheese, and lettuce. So since we don't have lettuce, it's meat and cheese. And we're going to roll this up. We'll be good to go. Alright, so we got 2 burritos. I also don't roll mine up all nice and pretty because what's the point? I'm about to eat it anyway. I don't care if it's nice and pretty. So now that we've got our food, you know what we have to do next. We have to make our weekly trip to the garage. Here we go. Let's turn on the light, unlock the door. And that floor looks a whole lot messier than it does in real life. It looks messier on camera for some reason. But anyway, it's time for our mandatory, absolutely necessary, completely relevant Jurassic Park movie poster shot. Alright, there we go. I don't know when I started making that a weekly thing with Saturday Night Horror, but it's cool. Gives me a reason to come out here in the garage. So let's head back in. And maybe this time Tiger won't sneak out. Oh, there, look at him waiting. He's waiting to sneak out. Look at him. Come on, buddy. Look at my little boy, Mr. Tiger. He loves to run out in the garage. He gets out in the garage and he just starts meowing because he doesn't know what to do when he actually makes it. Alright, so we've got our food. We've got a glass of water. Let's turn off the last light in the house. Alright, all the lights in the house are off. It's time to watch Alligator 2, The Mutation. And hopefully this is a better week movie-wise than it was last week. We shall see. So our movie is over, and I'm happy to say that Alligator 2 was so much better, so much more entertaining than Alligator 1. It was definitely a good night for Saturday Night Horror. The burritos, as always, were great. I'll probably be paying for them the rest of the night, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. So yeah, Alligator 2. I had so much fun watching this movie. There really weren't any slow parts to me like there were in the first one. This is just entertaining from start to finish. It kind of, in some places, felt like a redo of part 1, if that makes any sense. The origin of this alligator is the same as part 1. There's a baby alligator living in the sewers, and we have these experimental chemicals being dumped into the sewers that cause, growth rates to splurge, to shoot through the roof. So of course, the baby alligator gets exposed to these chemicals and through the years grows into a massive beast. Kind of like the first one in a way. And speaking of the size of this alligator, it was, I hate to say it, but it was kind of inconsistent during the movie. When the alligator was in the sewers, it looked like a normal sized gator, but once it went outside, it was huge. And then it would shrink back to a normal gator in another scene, and then all of a sudden again it would be huge. So it was kind of like inconsistent. It was weird, but I was entertained anyway, so the hell with it. But yeah, it wasn't just it's like it didn't stay the same size. It was just a normal gator. Then sometimes it would be huge when it was outside the sewer. Then it would, they showed again, it would be a normal sized gator, and you're thinking, what's the big deal? There's another thing I noticed is that the gator's eyes were glowing yellow at nighttime. And I was thinking, is that something they just did for the movie, or is that something alligators really do? So I actually looked it up. Come to find out, alligators' eyes do glow in the dark. So that's pretty cool that they put that in there. Keep true to what alligators really do, I guess. I can't think of how I'm trying to say that, but I think that was pretty cool that they did that. That's something alligators actually do, and they put that in the movie. Now this gator, when he's in his enlarged mode, when they decide to make him look like a giant beast, of course he's eating people, he's biting people, but then they make his tail so large that when he hits people with his tail, they go flying like 10 feet through the air, and there's always a wall or some solid object that they smack against, and when they do, there's just blood splatter. So it was funny because they'd fly through the air in slow motion, but when they hit the wall, you see blood splatter like it was this huge impact. It was hilarious, man. I absolutely loved it. This gator, like the first one, was pretty much indestructible. Shotguns didn't work. They even shoved a grenade at it. That didn't work. They even used 2 sticks of dynamite. That didn't work. They even taped 6 sticks of dynamite together with a detonator on it. The alligator swallowed the dynamite, and as it swallowed the dynamite, it chewed up the detonator. So you had dynamite in its belly, but nothing to blow it up with. Yeah, this alligator was a monster. The way they killed the gator, and don't act like that's a spoiler, we all knew the gator was going to be killed at the end of the movie, come on. The way they killed the gator, I'm thinking, if y'all would have done that to begin with, you could have saved so many lives. It wouldn't have gone on this murderous rampage. So the way they killed the gator in the end of the movie is probably what they should have done to begin with once they realized what they were dealing with, but like I said, they had no idea. They had no way of knowing the alligator was damn near indestructible. The carnival scene, the Ferris wheel. It wasn't an amusement park. It was actually a carnival. So I wasn't going crazy. I knew I remembered Ferris wheel. That's one of those scenes where the gator comes out of the water and he looks huge. And as he's chasing the people down, you see his mouth and his jaws, and he looks huge. But then they go to another angle and he looks like a normal sized gator, and these people are still running away in fear. So that's really the only thing that kind of, I don't want to say it irritated me, but it kind of made me go, ugh. This movie was how that gator would go from large to small to large to small. It just wasn't consistent, and I've said it a couple times already, but that's the only nitpick thing I have about this movie. I mean, it's a killer animal movie. You're gonna have cheese. I love cheese with my horror. But this was a fun movie. Alligator was fun. We also had one guy in there, a gator hunter. And I'm looking at this guy, his name is Billy Boy. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, I don't know why, but that dude looks like Kane Hodder. I swear that looks like Kane Hodder. So after the movie, I wait for the credits to roll, and sure enough, it was Kane Hodder. Jason Voorhees himself was a victim of the alligator. So that was pretty cool to see Kane Hodder play Billy Boy and be eaten by the alligator. That's one thing I like about Kane Hodder. A lot of these actors and actresses, they get bitter towards their most famous roles and act like they don't want anything to do with it. I don't know why. It's stupid. Kane Hodder embraces it, man. He loves his role in horror films. He doesn't, he played Jason Voorhees, probably, if not the most iconic horror villain of all time. But he doesn't mind playing other roles where he's killed in these movies. Like, he doesn't have a huge ego about him. So that's what's really cool about Kane Hodder. So, yeah, Kane Hodder, victim of the alligator. Old Billy Boy. So all in all, tonight was a success. Tonight is a success. Last week should have been when we returned to Saturday Night Horror, but what can you do? Burritos were awesome. Alligator 2 was awesome. Alligator 2 is one that I will definitely be watching again. So we'll put this up on the wall with the rest of the movies, and we'll bring it out sometime later on and watch it again. Finally got a Blu-ray release, man. So with that being said, I think we're going to wrap it up for this week. I don't know if we'll be doing an episode next week. We'll have to see if I can get my hands on another movie or not. Who knows? We may be back next week. We might not be. It'll be a surprise. Keep your eyes out. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have not seen Alligator 2: The Mutation, do yourself a favor. Check it out. I think it was $19.99 on Amazon. You could probably find a DVD even cheaper than that. The VHS, forget about it. The price is ridiculous. Yeah, definitely check out Alligator 2: The Mutation. So on behalf of myself, Baby Bella, and Mr. Tiger, we appreciate y'all watching Saturday Night Horror. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all have an awesome week. Y'all take care.